NPA Boss Shaun Abrahams has told the SABC News in an exclusive interview that Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan's lawyers have written to him. This comes amid report of an imminent arrest of the minister of his role in the so-called SARS rogue unit. Abrahams told an undertaking that Gordhan will not be arrested and is not facing espionage powers. However, he would not be drawn into whether the minister is among the suspects. The Hawks had submitted a docket to the NPA. However, it was sent back with guidance. It alleged that the members of the unit conducted illegal surveillance.
Full responsibility. If the media is not satisfied that the DPCI has conducted an investigation and that the DPCI will announce at the appropriate time how far their investigation has gone, or the matter submitted to the National Prosecuting Authority and decisions are made, I think it's inappropriate for the media to speculate. And the media have contributed largely to the current economic crisis the country finds itself in. So the media must take responsibility. And the media seems not to wanting to take responsibility. So too must certain politicians. So too must certain economists. So too must certain legal commentators. They must all take responsibility.
Have you been in discussions with the minister? Has he called you, perhaps?
The minister has not called me. The minister's lawyers have written a letter to my office. I have submitted the letter to the head of the Priority Crimes Investigation Unit. It's an acting special director who has crafted an appropriate response to the minister, and I'm sure the minister would have received the letter by now, or at the very least, the minister's lawyers would have received a response to the letter.
Was this a letter seeking clarity around the investigation, or whether the minister will be part of those who will probably eventually be prosecuted? Because the assumption is that when the Hawks bring a docket to the NPA, they are of the conviction that these are the suspects and we believe that they're guilty. But of course, the decision to prosecute lies with the NPA.
Well, that's of course correct, and that's why there'll always be toing and froing, when it comes to giving guidance in respect of investigations, because the NPA may look at a docket and say, we are not in a position to make a decision in respect of this matter. In this affidavit, the following is referred to, and then the prosecuting authority may want to seek further clarity on it. They may want to seek further clarity on documentation or other evidence that's relevant to making a decision. You must remember, and I stipulated this earlier in my address, when this engagement between the prosecuting authority and the Hawks takes place, or between the prosecuting authority and any other structure of the South African police services, it's ultimately to determine whether there is relevant and admissible evidence, whether it is in the interest of justice to prosecute in respect of the matter. When this engagement takes place, it's ultimately to determine. Remember this: you must take into consideration what is in favor of the accused or suspect, and what is not in favor of the accused or suspect. In other words, evidence that's to the advantage and or disadvantage of a suspect. So it's not a matter of a situation where an investigation is being driven in a particular direction, or an investigation is being targeted towards certain individuals. I certainly, under my watch, will not allow any investigation to be targeted against any specific or particular individual or individuals. I've spoken about that since my inception. I'm against tunnel vision investigations. We must look at the broader scope of things. We must look at the broader picture, and ultimately we must do what's best for the proper administration of justice.
Advocate Abrahams, I'm going to try and push the envelope on this one, or should I say try and open the envelope.
I wish you
the contents of that email or the letter that you got from the minister's lawyers, would you be able to share some of that with us?
I think it's inappropriate for me to do so. If the minister or the minister's lawyers deem it necessary to engage the media, I don't operate in that manner. So I'm certainly not going to discuss that. So if they want to engage the media on it, it's their liberty to do so. We don't work like that.
Well, you can catch the full interview later this evening on Your World.